What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review, for Families of the Mafia season 1 episode 3. So listen, y'all, I'm a little nervous because whenever you start seeing TV shows drop 2 episodes at a time, I feel like that's their way of saying we trying to hurry up and get this show out. So I'm wondering if the ratings aren't that great or whatever, because we had 1 episode and then last week they gave us episode 2 and 3. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous that the show is going to disappear like the last one, because the stuff y'all are putting in the comments is that, you know, some people got that show shut down. But I'm like, they ain't shut down Mob Wars and all them damn years that Mob Wars is out there. But anyway, okay, whatever. So, I ain't gonna say the other stuff y'all put in my comments. Y'all just gotta go look at the comments, honey. They done put all kinds of stuff in my comments, honey, about this show. People was dropping all kinds of tea out there, but I ain't gonna repeat it. I'm not gonna repeat it. So we start this episode off where we see Joe coming back from the police station. He did get arrested, and he's at Billy's house. You know, he's at his dad, because remember, Mama down in Florida taking her 2-month sabbatical, honey. And what we find out is he got charged with criminal mischief, and his father was like, criminal mischief, what the hell does that even mean? And exactly, I was saying the same thing. See, criminal mischief is that catch-all charge that they give you. It's like, we don't really know what to say. We just know that somebody called the police and you were being belligerent as fuck, so we're just going to go in and arrest you. I really think Joe has a drinking problem, and I feel like that's what people are saying without saying it. People are like, yeah, you know, when he drinks. Well, that's somebody you're an angry drunk, and it sounds to me like you have a drinking issue. I'm not saying he's an alcoholic. I'm saying he has an issue when he drinks, that something with his personality gets a little crazy. So his dad is talking to him, and his dad is like, look, how long are you going to be a fuck up? Like, you know, I tried my best for you not to follow in my footsteps, and yet here you are. This dude has been arrested 13 times. How you been arrested 13 times before your 25th birthday? Like, that's crazy to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But and these are the tools, by the way. You know, his dad is like, look, I mean, I could put in a good word with you with some folks I know down at Rikers, make sure that you know they're going to take care of you. He was like, but I'll put some money on your books, but I ain't coming down there. I said, see, that is the craziest conversation that you have to have with your child. I'll put some money on your books. I'll even put put in a good word for you on some people I know down at Rikers Island and make sure they ain't going to bother you, but I ain't going to visit you. The fact that you got people down at Rikers Island to put in a good word with is a problem. And not because you have friends that are, you know, corrections officers. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he says he's going to do better and he's not going back and da-da-da-da. So I feel like the same shit he done said 20,000. Probably the other 14, 13 times he got arrested, he probably said the exact same thing. Now, the Gravanos are getting ready for the grand opening of the pizza joint. Now, Karen and her partner are still bumping heads. I don't see that working for the long run. I mean, I know that they said that that's how their relationship is made up, that they kind of, you know, they are at each other. But that's not when you're dealing in business. Like, men, you can be friends and go cuss each other out and then go shopping or go to brunch the next day. But when you are dealing with a business, with money, with taxes, with employees, with all the things that go along with running a business, that's just not a good look. So I don't know how long ago they filmed all of this, but I'd be interested to see what the status of the restaurant is, because Karen had already told her that Karen would buy her out and she could just go on by her merry little way, and she was like, you're not buying me out. So, child, I don't know. So anyway, they're getting ready for the grand opening. She wants to invite dignitaries. She wants to invite, you know, the mayor and, you know, a lot of, you know, she wants to make a big deal about it. And the guy even comes to interview her from a local magazine or whatever, or from a local, some establishment, a blogger or whatever. And of course he wanted to talk all about her dad and the mob, and, you know, one thing Karen said that kind of hit me wrong was when the guy said, well, what if one of the family members of your dad's victim shows up? Like, how would you address that, or how would you feel about that? And Karen made a comment about, well, this is just a lifestyle, and if anybody that my dad, she said, I'm not gonna make any excuses for my dad or make any excuses for what my dad did, but they were all in the lifestyle together and they knew what they were signing up for. And I'm like, that's bullshit, Karen. That is bullshit. Do you know how many innocent people got killed through organized crime? That's bullshit. Like, I know that probably the vast majority of the people that your dad tangled with probably were people who were in the lifestyle and enemies and all of that. But there were some innocent people that got caught up in that bullshit too. And this is coming from somebody that grew up seeing, drug wars. I grew up in the 1990s, and let's be clear, drive-by shootings don't have no name. So you can't say, oh, well, if a drug dealer got killed, he knew what he signed up for. Yeah, but what about the other people that were involved that didn't sign up for what he signed up for? You know what I mean? Like, Karen, I'm usually kind of rocking with you a little bit, but that comment hit me sideways a little bit. But she was getting very irritated, and as I understood, and on one hand, I understand her getting irritated with the reporter, but on the other hand, it's like, well, Karen, you already know what people want to talk about. But her thing was, I want to talk about pizza and meatballs. I do not want to talk about my dad. I don't want to talk about talk about the Mafia. I don't want to talk about, the Gambinos, and I don't want to talk about all of that. I want to talk about me, my business. But you're opening up a mob-themed restaurant. Your father was Sammy the Bull Gravano. People are going to ask the questions. People are going to always ask the questions. People are going to ask the questions until you stop doing interviews. Karen, you're just going to have to deal with that and accept it and understand it. Especially when you're opening up a mob-themed restaurant. Now, let's talk about the, y'all know I always say their name wrong. Shoot. The LaRocca. So, we get a little bit more information with Mom. We see her with the father of her children, which I sort of suspected that they were mixed, but we are confirmed. The father of her children, he's a black man. Their relationship didn't really work out, although I'm not really sure about their relationship not working out. I feel like they're together, they just haven't put a label on it. I feel like they're still together, because later on in the episode, he's calling her babe, and they identify him as her partner. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say the father of her children. They were like her partner. So I don't know. I feel like they were, but anyway, she said that, they were together, but that when she got out of jail, it sounded like when she got out of, so you got to read between the lines, because they can't really say stuff outright because they can't indict themselves. But it sounds like when she got out of jail, she was ready to get back on. Like she didn't have no money, things was tight, and she was ready to get back on. And he was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, I'm done. Like, I'm done with that lifestyle, I'm done with all of that. And if that's which way you get ready to go, then I'm gonna stay over here, you stay over there, and I'll just take care of my kids. But anyway, looks like he's a father. He's there with the kids, and they're spending time together. They're going out to eat. We find out that it's the oldest daughter's birthday, and so she wants Chris to be there, and they're going to Coney Island, and they were like, Chris is coming, Chris is coming, Chris is going to come, Chris is going to come, don't worry about it, Chris is going to come. I knew the way they were saying that Chris wasn't coming, but okay. So of course they get to Coney Island, and who doesn't show up? Chris. Now here's what I like about Chris. What I like about Chris is that Chris ain't lie about it. His mother called him, and she was pissed off, and she was like, where are you? Why aren't you here? He was like, I'm home. She was like, well, where are you? Why aren't you here? He was like, I'm still in bed. So she basically cussed him out and hung up on him. And I understood her being upset. I did. I 100%, because the little girl was asking for him. She was like, are you sure he's coming? Are you sure he's coming? He's going to come. He's going to come. So I understood where Mom was coming from. And Mom was like, look, at the end of the day, I can't fix what I did wrong. I know I wasn't there for him. I know that he probably feels some kind of way that I'm a attentive 100% mom with these two kids, but I can't undo what I did. All I can do is apologize and try to build a relationship where we are now, but I can't go back and fix it. And she's right. And I feel like she's been very apologetic about the fact that, she made some bad decisions and she wasn't able to raise him. Later on in the episode, he does come by the house and she tells him, she was like, look, whatever between me and you can be between me and you, but you can't disappoint them. Like, they didn't have anything to do with it. It is not their fault. You can't disappoint them. Our shit is our shit. And he was like, no, you're right. He was like, you're right. And so he goes to talk to his sister. And again, he tells her, he said, look, she was like, where were you? And he said, look, I'm a bum. He was like, I'm a lazy bum. I went to bed late and I didn't set my alarm and I slept. He was like, I was asleep. He said, and I'm sorry. He was like, go ahead. Say what you got to say. Go ahead. I understand that you're upset with me. I understand you're disappointed. He was like, but I'm sorry and I'm going to make it up. And she was like, and she basically was like, look, you don't live with us. So, when you're supposed to be here, I need you to be here. Like, I love you. You're my big brother and I miss you and I want to see you. And he was like, I love you too. He said, understand there's nobody I love more in this world than you and my brother. Like, y'all are my brother and sister. And that's never going to, like, y'all are always going to be the most important people to me. He said, but I'm sorry. I screwed up, but I'm going to make it up to you, And so I can appreciate that he owned it. I can appreciate that he didn't walk in the door making up excuses, bullshitting her, talking about, oh, well, he didn't do none of that. He was like, I did it. Now, I don't agree with his reasoning. I feel like that was very, irresponsible of him. But I can appreciate that he owned it. Like, the fastest way for me to get over being pissed off at you is you being honest with me about the situation. Like, I don't have to like it, but I can respect your honesty. Y'all know what I'm saying? Anyway, Billy got to call Mama down in Florida and tell Mama that Jordan got arrested. He got a court date. So Mama is like, so now I got to come back home. So I got to come back from my mini vacation down in Florida because he don't know how to keep his shit together. And what are you doing? You're supposed to be. And my thing is now, first of all, let's be clear. Let me just call a couple of things a spade. And if y'all gonna get mad at me, y'all just got to get mad at me. Cuss me out in the comments. Let's be clear. Billy ass is a drunk. And he's a fuck up. Now, he might be at a point in his life where he wants to fix it and he wants to do better. But that's who he's been. He can't undo 20 years of fuck up. That boy, Joe, is 20 years old and has been arrested more times than I can think of. What did you think he was going to do? You can't even control him. He had a party and tore up your damn house while you were still in town. What? Anyway, so of course she comes home and she's mad. She's mad at Joe. She's mad at Billy. She act like they were supposed to be able to do something. And the person to be mad at is Joe. Billy ain't got nothing to do with this. You can't raise a 20-year-old. You cannot. You cannot. We see where him and Taylor are trying to build a relationship. Taylor says, look, over the years I have tried. I've been disappointed time after time after time. He calls me. He wants to set up something. He wants to meet up. He wants to have dinner. And it never happens. And she said, look, I don't have too many more disappointments in me. Like, either we're going to get it together and we're going to fix it and we're going to be a family and we're going to work it out, or it's a wrap. She was like, because I don't have too many more disappointments in me. I don't blame you, Taylor. Like I said, you got 20 years of fuck up in you, Billy. So I'm with Taylor. I understand. Now let's talk about Angelinos. Anyway, Denny and her mom. So what we find out from Denny and her mom is that Denny is mixed as well. Her dad is black. Sounds like his family is from Alabama. And at a certain point, he no longer wanted the responsibility of a child. And so not only did he abandon them, he left. They say he moved to the West Coast somewhere, and he has never been a part of Denny's life. And so Denny is one of those children that I like to say, you are here in spite of, not because of. Because Denny graduated from college, and she's got I love her personality. She's got confidence. She's got a big personality, and she seems like a really sweet person. She definitely does. Her and her mom have a non-traditional relationship. Is one of those best friends instead of mom relationships. If you go back to, like I said, this other show that they done canceled, she pulled a practical joke on her mom where she put a pool in the middle of her mother's living room and had water all over the floor and stuff. See, I'd have whooped your ass. But that's their relationship. She says she loves to pull pranks on her mom, and that's what they do. So her friend is having a baby, and if I understood correctly, the father of her friend's baby she's the godmother of the baby, and they're going to go for the baptism. And I believe the father is black as well, and so she was saying that she's in a unique position because I guess the daddy ain't around. She's in a unique position to understand what her godchild is going to be going through and be able to help her maneuver and navigate, and because Denny's thing was, I have a whole nother family I know nothing about. She said, because not only was he not a part of my family, but he basically forbade his family to be a part of, to get to know me and be a part of my life as well. And so she said, basically, I don't know anything about the black side of my family. She's like, basically, I grew up white. No, you grew up Italian. But I grew up white. And, because I don't know anything about the black side of my family. But it is so clear that she's biracial. Like, even with the fact that she didn't grow up, but it's so clear that she's biracial. Anyway, and so we see her go to the baptism for her best friend, for her godchild. And so that was sweet. Again, I believe that we're going to see them try to explore her meeting up with her dad or getting to know her dad at some point through this show. I believe I think we saw that in the previews, but we'll see. So let's get to, I think that's it. I think we covered everything. I think we had the grand opening because I've been talking a lot. I think we've covered everything though. So we get to the grand opening, and of course it's a nice grand opening, and everybody is, the people are showing up. Now this would have been a perfect opportunity for me, at least, to see some of my Mob Wives alum. Like, I would have loved to seen, what's my girl? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The crazy extra one, whose sister was the producer of Mob Wives. Oh Lord, I can see her face right now, and I know it's gonna be all in the comments. I can see her face right now, but I can't think of her name. But anyway, I would love to have seen some of my Mob Wives alum, like the people that she was cool with by the time the show ended, because like her and Drita couldn't even be in the same room together, so definitely not Drita, honey. But some of the other people that she ended up being cool with by the end of the show, I would love to have seen them show up and support her. And that's not to say they weren't there. Maybe they didn't film them or they didn't include the footage. But I would have loved to have seen that. But anyway, it looked like it was a nice opening. It looked like it was well attended. The mayor of the town that her restaurant is in did come, but also the daughter of another hitman from the Colombo crime family, and I had heard his name before too. Supposedly the FBI thinks that he's responsible for up to 100 murders, and I feel like she showed up with an attitude, but not trying to start anything. Like, she didn't come in there ready to fight, but she definitely came in there wanting Karen to understand that she wasn't crazy about the situation. She said that she felt like Karen was sort of making fun of the whole Mafia thing, and Karen was like, no, I'm not making light of it. I'm not making fun of it. She said, my whole life I ran from what this is, and now I'm just sort of I'm owning it and I'm accepting it and I'm making money off of it, basically. But come to find, and she said, where's my picture? And come to find out, Karen actually did have a picture of her, and her family was one of the pictures they had in the restaurant under the table. And she talked about, she said growing up, I really had to, like, I had to live this lifestyle. She talked about how her dad would kill somebody in the family car and then tell them they couldn't drive the car until he got it cleaned. And she talked about her dad coming home one night with his arm shot up or something like that and bleeding. He had on a white suit. And so she definitely had stories. But Karen's thing was, my dad never brought it home. She said, my dad didn't bring it home. I never saw it. Now, I'm sure she knew because her dad went to jail. Her dad went to jail when she was 19. So I'm sure by 19 she knew who her dad was, or at least knew he was in. She might not have known to the extent, but she definitely knew her dad was into illegal activity. But she said he never brought all of that home to me. So my experience is a little bit different from your experience. But they ended up having a good, you know what I mean? It didn't escalate. It did not escalate. But I definitely feel like she came near to talk to Karen about not really being crazy about it. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. But it was cool though. It was cool. I feel like, on one hand, I feel like, how do I say this? On one hand, I feel like Karen wants to kind of get away from it, but I also feel like Karen has found out that she can make money off of it. I mean, she wrote the book, Mob Wives, you know what I mean? But at the same time, she also tried to, she also had to raise a kid. She was a felon and she had to raise her kid. Well, no, she wasn't a felon. That's a lie. She didn't go to jail. But y'all know what I'm saying. So, I don't know. I like Karen, though. I think Karen is a hustler. Renee. That's who I'm talking about. Renee. Like, I would have loved to have seen Renee's crazy ass. But Karen has always been a hustler. She said that for her high school graduation, she got a business. So she said, I've always worked. My whole life, I've always worked. I've always owned a business in some way, shape, or form, whether it was legal or not. And I'm thinking, most people don't get a flower shop for their high school graduation, but okay. Anyway, so y'all, I'm rambling now. That was it, though. It's giving me some good information. I'm still a little, stuff is still a little, but I'm enjoying it. I'm actually, somebody asked me if I like the show. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the show. I like stuff like this. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Drop it in the comments. Peace.